Today, let us analyze Shylock's revenge speech from the play Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. Before examining the defense speech, let us have a brief background of the story. Merchant of Venice is a play about Antonio, a merchant in Venice, who risks his life to help his friend Bassanio. Bassanio is in need of money and he wants to borrow money from Antonio. At this point, Antonio's money is invested in trade and hence he is forced to take a loan from Shylock, a Jewish moneylender whom he actually despises because of his religion. Shylock agrees to lend the money based on a bond which entitles him to cut a pound of flesh from any part of Antonio's body if he fails to repay the money in time. Antonio fails to repay the debt because his ships are said to be sunk in sea and he incurs monetary losses. When asked whether Shylock really wants to extract the pound of flesh from Antonio, Shylock says that he would take the flesh for revenge. In the given extract, Shylock reasons why he would execute the bond. Now, in this play, Shylock is projected as an antagonist. A Jewish merchant living in a Christian city, he comes across as a very greedy, jealous, and vengeful fellow. Throughout the play, Shylock is made a laughing stock and is ridiculed by the Christians because he's Jewish. They constantly mock at him, spit on his face for his religion and misfortunes. In the revenge speech, he shows his discontent at the treatment of his people, that is the Jewish people, who are the minorities, who are hated and condemned only for their religion. So I right now enter into Shylock's monologue, where when he's asked why does he want the flesh from Antonio's body, he replies that he wants his revenge from the Christians. And he starts by saying, yes, I want the pound of flesh from his body. It would not serve me any purpose. He says, I want it to bait fish withal. It will feed nothing else. It will feed my revenge. That is, yes, what would I do with a pound of flesh? Yeah, I will use it as a bait for fishes because it is going to feed my revenge. Here he's shown as being very savage and ruthless. But you have to understand that he was constantly criticized and humiliated because he was Jewish by these Christian fellows. Now, he continues by saying that he means Antonio. Antonio, he had disgraced me and hindered me $500,000. He has laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated my enemies. And what's his reason? That is, he has humiliated me to an extent. And what is his reason? What is the reason that he gives? That I am a Jew. So is that a reason? That is what Shylock, see, we always think of Shylock as a villainous character. But here he comes across as a victim where he portrays this line and asks, is this such a flimsy reason that you're giving me? That you are humiliating me, you're disgracing me, you're insulting me just because of my religion, because I'm a Jew? And now comes the famous lines. He asks the audience that look at me, I'm a Jew. And then he says, hath not a Jew eyes? Am I from some alien race? Do I look so different? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections and passions? Am I not fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons and subject to the same diseases? So here it's a powerful line, it's a powerful monologue. He says, look at me, I'm also human, just as human as you are. Christians believe that they are a nobler species than Jews. But Shylock insists that they are no more pure than the Jews, and the Jews, they are no less human than the Christians. He continues, are we not fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means and warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer? He says, I am as human as you. I am affected by emotions. I am affected by the seasons. What is the difference? You tell me that I'm a Jew. What is it? Do I have horns? Or what is it that you portray me as a devil for? And then he asks him, If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? So that's a very powerful lines coming from Shylock. Here Shylock, I think, represents the minority, where he asks the question that why do you treat us as different? Why? Why do you scorn us? Why do you insult us? When I don't find any difference between you and me. If you prick us, that's the same blood that is going to flow from our veins. We are hungry, just as you are. We need love, just as you are. And then he comes to the point where he explains why he wants revenge. He says, if we are like the rest of you, we shall resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humility? Revenge. That is, if I had ever wronged you, what would you do? You would revenge me. And the court would also help you, because here Christians were in minority. So he says, I'm learning the lessons from you. So if a Christian wrongs a Jew, what should his sufferings be by Christian example? He says, I am following your example. What is it that you Christians have taught me? You Christians have taught me the maxim, eye for an eye, blood for a blood. Blood for blood. So that is what I am going to follow. And that is why I am bent on extracting that pound of flesh from you. So he says, yes, I am going to take revenge. The villainy that you teach me, that is throughout the years, you have discriminated us, you have insulted us, you have mocked us, you have put us down. The villainy that you have taught us, I will execute. Now, I have the power in me to execute something. And I stand by for my Jewish community. And I'm not going to put them down. So I'm going to execute the very feelings of revenge that you have towards me. I'm going to execute it exactly back at you. And he says, I will execute and it shall go hard and I will better the instruction. So here, it's a very sarcastic tone. He says, of course, I consider you as my teacher. You, from ages, you have been teaching us things, right? So you have taught me that revenge should be followed by revenge. And now since I have the chance, I'm not going to let it go of that. I'm going to extract that pound of flesh. So therein ends the defense speech of Shylock. Now this particular speech, we can just take it and put it in modern society too. Shakespeare is a dramatist whose plays, I'm sure even 1,000 years from now, we would read his plays because he can mirror human emotions. Even if you take the 21st century, we find that there is so much of intolerance, there's so much of bias, partiality, bigotry, injustice, and discrimination that people have towards one another. So all this has to stop. Till where? Till how long shall we fight? There are so many internal strifes, wars that is happening. And what is the end result? Bloodshed. So is this what the human race is going to pitch in for? I think I would like to end with something that Barack Obama had said. That here, from this defense speech, let us understand the lesson that Shakespeare wants to tell us through this small monologue. That we have to learn about humaneness. We have to learn about humanity. We are human beings. We have to see ourselves in one another. We have to see that we are connected. Our fates are bound together. Because in the end, we are all part of one tribe. The human tribe. And no matter who we are and where we come from and what we look like and who we love or which God we worship, we are all connected.